puzzle's huge. Holy sh! The Sideswiper Puzzle Box by Ryan Eubanks. The object is to find the prize. So it's a sequential discovery puzzle. You have to use the tools you find along the way to discover the prize. The primary wood used is maple. That's the main body of the puzzle, with various different woods like walnut, cherry, purple heart to accent the different features and tools you find along the way. This puzzle is massive. I mean, it's just over 10.5 inches, but it feels like there's no way it's not over a foot. But regardless, even coming in over 10.5 inches, this puzzle is huge, with approximately 18 steps to solve, which, you know, again, varies depending on what you classify as a step for this puzzle. So Ryan manufactures and distributes this puzzle himself, although he has a website, which I'll put in the link in the description below. His primary means to communicate is through his Facebook page, so Eubanks Puzzle Boxes. You know, unfortunately, this puzzle is not currently for sale. I get into this a lot more detail in a subsequent video with my interview with Ryan, which is also in the description. So I won't get into it too much here, but unlike some other puzzle designers and fabricators, Ryan does this as a side project in addition to his full-time job where he's working 50 to 60 hours a week. So that list filled up quickly and is going to take quite a while and several years to complete. So you'll have to appreciate from afar. So even when he first created this list, I think the first batch is nearing completion. That took about a year and a half. So unfortunately, you're not going to be able to find this in a store near you. So with that said, let's jump into the spoiler-free review. So for the overall puzzle design, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. So it is a fun sequential discovery. It's not too challenging, which makes it really good, again, for all ranges and age of people, especially to do with kids. I was able to do some of the steps with my daughter, and it was really fun, entertaining to kind of go through almost in a family or a group type setting. So that the steps in it are pretty straightforward. That's why I kind of have that asterisk by it, because this puzzle rating design I feel is very subjective. Based on kind of your preference for puzzles and difficulty, you may find this to be a perfect balance. Others may find it to be even less than this. So it really varies from person to person quite a bit. And even myself, I find myself struggling with a good rating. It almost changes day to day. And at the moment, I'll write in this review and going through the puzzle again, I find myself going through the steps, wishing was a little bit harder. It's really good. The puzzle steps, lead one into the other. The tools are very well utilized, but based on the number of steps and spaces, I wish it could have been a little bit harder. But all that aside, don't let that fool you. It's still a great puzzle, and I would even sell most of my Revomaze collection before I even thought about selling this puzzle. Damn! Yeah, so that's how much I enjoyed this puzzle. So jumping into the puzzle artistry and physical design, easily 5 out of 5. Craftsmanship is just outstanding on it. I find all the pieces moved very smoothly. Everything functioned perfectly. The aesthetics of it, the look to it is just beautiful. You can display on the mantelpiece in front of friends and family. And again, it's once in a lifetime puzzle. I am ecstatic that I was at the right place and the right time in order to get this puzzle. So I'm still can't believe it, in awe that I was able to get this puzzle. So the difficulty, again, solid 3 out of 6 or medium. Pretty straightforward. I wouldn't. There's maybe 1 or 2 hiccups along the way, but overall, really solid medium puzzle. So again, overall rating 4.25. Lots of math, over 5, and then medium difficulty. So again, fantastic puzzle, well-rounded. Great for new to experienced puzzlers and all range of people. So I'm really excited to go over the next part. Again, it's a spoiler portion, and look in the description or the timestamps, because I'm also announcing the winner of the last giveaway and a new giveaway as well. So if you want to avoid the spoiler for this video, but because it's one of those once in a lifetime puzzles, and I think the first batch that he's still finishing is roughly 12. You know, it's very limited release, so it's going to be challenging for some of you to get your hands on this puzzle. So some of you may appreciate the spoiler video for once, which most of you, or a portion of you, don't, would rather see the non-spoiler reviews. So with that said, time to jump into the spoiler portion. Okay, before we get started with the solution, lesson and why humidity is important for wooden puzzles. So before shooting this video, my basement was around 75–80% humidity, and this puzzle had swelled up to the point where it was unsolvable. So I had to get my dehumidifier cranking and get the humidity down to around 40–45% to reduce the swelling until it was finally solvable. So that's just kind of a lesson to those that are curious about humidity and how it impacts puzzles. Eric Fuller has a great write-up on it on his website, Cubic Dissection, so go visit that for more information. So this is a manual hygrometer that I have that I got through Amazon. It's not Bluetooth or anything like that, but it works for what I need. So a quick tangent there. So solving Sideswiper. So the first thing that you notice, you kind of pick it up, is obviously you have these sliders. You have 3 on both sides, so 3 on that side and 3 on this side as well. So we'll go ahead and start with this side. So the first combination, in order to proceed, is you notice that there are 3 colors here on this piece right here. So we're going to rearrange the sliders to where it matches up. So it's oak, and then walnut, and cherry. And then with that lined up, I should be able to remove this part nice and easy. And there we go. That's the first piece. Notice there's 3 indentations for the sliders. There's also a magnet on here, which will come into play later. So then at this point, I was stumped for a while. And this was kind of the next step was my favorite step, and I thought one of the most brilliant steps of the puzzle. So obviously you have this piece here, which is locked. You have the 3 sliders and the drawers on their side. There's a drawer on this side. So what to do next? Now you'll notice that everywhere along this puzzle there's combinations of 3 different colors. There's 3 here, 3 here, and then I noticed on the side that there are also 3 different patterns here. And the important thing that came with the instructions is there is no guessing involved. So you shouldn't have to do all the different permutations of these sliders to get it to work. So the brilliant part was, well, how to proceed next. So I tried all the different color permutations, and I tried these colors on the other sliders. So one thing I noticed is that with this drawer here, you have this purple mechanism right here, this purple heart. So what I did is, if you line all these up to purple heart, then that allows this piece to move up. Like so. If I can slide adjustments, there we go. And then it unlocks this drawer here. So the key was that all these had to be purple heart to unlock this guy. And I thought that was brilliant. It took me a long time to kind of figure that out. And then it unlocks this drawer here. And then we have this little box in here. So once you get this box out, you lift it up, and you find a flashlight in here. Now, for a while I was kind of confused about this, because the next step is, if you look down in there, there's a little tab that we could pull out, and what that does is that exposes the mechanism here on the keyhole that we now have to access with this pull. So when I talked to Ryan about this, the flashlight was to look at that inside the drawer there and realize that there was that piece that needed to be pulled out. I didn't really think that this was necessary. Kind of one of the reasons that I had it as a 3.5 out of 5. But it was fairly dark in there, but for the most part I didn't really find that that flashlight was really necessary to see that piece needed to be pulled out. So the next step, so we have these 3 drawers here that are pretty tight, nothing's moving there, and we have these sliders here, and again it doesn't match with that wood, so clearly we need another color combination. So now with this keyhole exposed, what we can do is, when you insert it in there,
you'll kind of get to a point and you'll hear a click. So it actually engages the magnet on it, and then from here we could slightly pull. There we go, ever so slightly. And what that does, that releases this first drawer here. Now this is where I got stuck and I couldn't pull that mechanism when the humidity was around 75–80%. So that's where those internal mechanisms swelled up. So when you open up this drawer, you'll notice that there's nothing in here. So the thought was that now that that drawer is pulled, that exposes an additional space for this mechanism to go. So rather than pull, this time we're going to push. So I'm going to cut the magnet hook, and I'll push it in. Now it goes in even further than before. And now that exposes this third drawer. And here there's a paddock key, which again we'll use later. Okay, so now with this third drawer open, I'm going to use our handy dandy key again. Put it in, get it hooked, and then put it all the way out. And now this third drawer comes out nice and easy. And now we'll see there are 3 colors in there. Now we're going to use those sliders to match up. And there we go. And that was one of my comments during the review, is that, you know, this puzzle operated so smoothly when it's at the right humidity and it's maintained right. So when you don't maintain your puzzles, the function's not guaranteed. So now with those 2 pulls gone, now we could open up the top. So I'm gonna kind of push these guys in a little bit. All right. There we go. And I love how there's, you know, quite a bit of room in here, which allows for, you to kind of put something in if there's a, you know, a prize or anything you want to kind of put for someone else to borrow this. So you will see the HB, the Hubanks engraving on it. So from here, you know, we got a plethora of tools still, but there is a little piece here that will pull up. It's got a little bit of, has a little magnet on it, excuse me. So at first you kind of think, well, we have this key earlier, can we use this key? But, you know, these holes are too big. So this little piece here that was actually used to keep it in place, we're actually going to put in there and hook this panel out and pull it. Now we have a hole exposed, so it looks like it goes to the drawer, but again, that drawer is kind of locked right now. So here, this piece is just held in by a simple magnet. So we pull it up, and now this last drawer comes out. And in here we have a little tool for us, held in by a magnet. And this tool is going to be used to grab the last compartment in there. But when you go in to grab it, again, you'll see that, you know, it's stuck, nothing's moving. Well, we need to use the key from earlier. You can see, when you kind of put it in there, I guess rather feel that there's a magnet in there. If you pull it up ever so slightly, it's enough to where it disengages from the locking mechanism. And now we could pull this drawer out. I'll just do it manually. And in there is the Sideswiper prize. And we have completed the puzzle. So again, great puzzle. Overall, again, it's one of those once-in-a-lifetime puzzles. I love it. The reason that, again, it's kind of a 3 out of 5 out of 5, it's just kind of based on the day. When I first got it, I was solving it over and over again, but later on and currently right now, sometimes going through it, like the Purple Heart step, that was, incredible. I really spent a lot of time trying to figure it out because, again, you don't want to go through the permutations of the different sliders. You want to, have the solution or know why you're putting the sliders to what you are, so you're not just guessing randomly. And that one really tripped me up, but I really enjoyed it. So part of me going through this puzzle, one step led into the other, which was really great, how it all interconnected. But at the same time, some days I kind of wish that, it was a little bit harder. So again, that's really kind of a personal preference, and even for me, just kind of changes on a day-to-day on how I view this puzzle. So that's why I kind of gave it the rating that I did. But fantastic puzzle. The craftsmanship, second to none. When it's maintained properly, everything is just so smooth and just works so well. So I really look forward to what Ryan has in store next. Like I said, he's not taking any more people or list on at this time for this puzzle. So in the meantime, you have, I guess a chance of borrowing it from someone or watching this video for the solution. So hope you enjoyed it, and see you guys next time. Thanks.